Girl. Hello, everybody. This is Diane, Antinatalist, and this is my Halloween video on babies, crying babies. See this tag here? It says crying baby. And as everybody knows, crying is synonymous with babies. Yes, it is. Babies always seem to be unhappy or tortured mentally and physically for some, unknown reasons. But we can actually reduce it to a few things: hunger, temperature variations, gastric distress, loneliness, thirst, or pain. So, with that being said, who would want to bring a baby into existence? Who would even consider having sex without some kind of protection? Because the consequences are so dire. Now, nobody likes to be around a crying baby. It's very, very distressful. But let's consider the moment that the baby is born. It's quite traumatizing. A baby leaves a very confined womb. And, the baby leaves a confined, warm and soft and dark womb. And then they enter the cold, bright lights of an emergency room, a labor and delivery room. And they see and hear sounds that they've never heard before. Those aren't exciting sounds, folks. Those are uncomfortable sounds. The baby is handled. The baby is abruptly, taken from its mother. And a series of tests are done on the baby to make sure that it is healthy and well and able to be on its own without doctor's intervention. So that alone is very, very stressful. Now, the baby is wet. The baby is briefly cold until it is wrapped. The baby is startled. And I believe they still spank babies to increase the blood flow or the oxygen or the lung capacity. So a spanking or a pat on the butt is certainly not what the baby wants to feel when he's, just being startled into existence. So the very reason that parents have children is because of their wants. It's not a need to have a child. And simply because a couple had unprotected sex, most babies are actually unwanted and unplanned. So that alone is a huge consequence to be gambled with. And the baby enters existence for no more than the parents got pregnant or impregnated, and or simply because they wanted a child. Maybe their family is dwindling. Maybe their grandparents want a grandson or daughter. Maybe they feel like passing on the family name or passing on the family heirlooms. But whatever it is, these wants are entirely selfish. It is the most narcissistic venture in your entire life to have your own offspring, to have biological offspring. Now I have another baby's mask here. And this mask was entitled Angry Baby. So we've all seen angry babies. We've seen that mean face on a very, very angry baby. Maybe the baby was forced to go shopping with the mom, or maybe the baby got a sucker taken away from him, or, maybe his milk bottle is empty. But there's so many reasons that babies suffer, and even if suffering was limited to babyhood or toddlerhood, that's a terrible thing to do to someone, and bring them into existence and just plop them down on this planet. And plop them down, they're totally unprepared. It's going to take 21 to 30 years to even become educated or mature, to even thrive on their own. So that's a significant investment into a baby that you got no permission to bring into existence. And that child is going to have to live its own life, pay its own bills, make its own money, feel its own discomforts. You are not going to be able to take any of those harms away from that baby and that eventual human being, fully grown human being. So basically, when you have a child, you just plant them in this lonely, unhappy, and miserable world, and you expect them to fend for themselves, because that's what it's going to be like for them. Even if you were super wealthy and you left your child, millions of dollars in a trust fund, they still are going to encounter unhappiness, loneliness, rejection, and failure. Nothing will be perfect for your child. And so, given the fact that most parents do not have trust funds for their children, and that trust funds aren't going to cure everything that the child is going to encounter, it's best to not even place somebody into existence. Now, that means using protection when you have sex. And yes, I'm also speaking to you guys here. A lot of males think that birth control is a woman's duty. Well, let me tell you, you as a man are fertile every hour of the day, almost your entire life. Women don't know when they're fertile, and they're fertile about 48 hours per month. So that leaves a bigger burden on you to use protection. And even if the woman does get pregnant, it is not your choice whether to keep the baby or not keep the baby. And you may even have thoughts of harming the woman who's pregnant because you don't want to pay child support. You may think of different ways to poison her, or to beg her to get an abortion. But implantation of an embryo, impregnation, starts with you as a man, a young man or a man. So you're the first and foremost potential for harm, and you're the one that ignites the pregnancy. And pregnancy is harm to women, first and foremost, and then it's harm for a baby. So she's really going to town here on digging this hole. Look at you, girl. We are at Lake Erie, and she's having a great day. She's been swimming and running and just drinking a lot of water out here. But please consider the unborn before you conceive, or before you want children or have children. Put yourself in the place of another human being. That human being does not want to feel pain. They do not choose to work their entire lives or pay taxes or, you know, be at the whim of authority figures. And they certainly don't want to live their life working to pay rent and to pay a mortgage, to pay car payments. No, it's just a, you know, it's just a recycled circle of just chaos. And no baby wants to be placed into a traumatic world, and being born is traumatic. So have some empathy. Think of your potential child and think about all the harms it's going to face in its life, and recount the harms that you've been through in your life, from the time you were a toddler to the time you were a young adult to the time you were an old person, if you are older. It is very unfair to place someone into existence, because there's going to be a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And babies personify their feelings, and everybody has mood swings. Everybody, their entire lives, goes through happiness and sadness and discontent and boredom. And the joyful times in your life are not going to be very remarkable. They're not going to be a high percentage of your lifetime. There's going to be a lot of average moments, and the unsettling moments are going to have a stronger hold on your happiness and your existence. So all I'm asking is that, you know, you consider the consequences of bringing a child into the life, because you can't avoid not bringing harm into the world when you have a child. So the act of sex is very casual, and most people don't think of an upcoming baby when they're having sex. But I also urge people, when you are of age, to get sterilized. And it's much easier for a guy to get a vasectomy than it is for a female. Most doctors will not perform sterilization on a female until she's either had children or until she's older. But getting sterilization is the most humane, conscientious, and thoughtful thing to do. Bringing another soul into existence is the most harmful and cruel and thoughtless thing you can do. So thank you for watching our video in Lake Erie.